Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video we're going to take a look at another fundamental scroll. This one will be the bean finial, or the bean end scroll. So right off the bat we're going to start at the vise, swing and a miss, hit your wrist, that's always good. I don't advise it, but if you're like me you might do that. We're going to go ahead and upset a good amount of material right at the vise starting with. So as you can see, it's kind of crooked, and I upset a lot of material all at once. Now I'll go to the anvil, and I pre-straighten this out, and I'm going to create a little set down, a little shoulder, because I need to create a nub on the end here and get that material pushed into what is a bean shape. So you're going to see me draw material down in basically one plane or one direction. Now that I isolated that mass, now I'm going to start spreading it out to the left and to the right. This is very similar, like as if you were going to be pulling out the lobes on a leaf, right? So if you haven't watched the spade end scroll or any of my leaf scroll making videos, you should watch those to understand what I talk about pulling out the lobes. In a bean end scroll, we're basically doing the same thing. And what we're looking for is a shape that looks like a reverse kidney bean on the end of the piece here. You don't want it to, you want the actual lobes to draw back over the bar a little bit. You don't want the bean to go the opposite direction. You don't want it to look like a little butterfly effect out in the front. So we've got to draw extra material out back into the square portion of the bar. So we really got to accentuate those lobes quite a bit. That first step that I did is kind of critical in creating the bean end for the scroll. You need to get extra mass in right at that tip, and then you need to isolate that mass so this way you can draw that out to the left and right a lot easier. If you simply just start with a bar that has been unupsetted to begin with, you're just going to draw that shape out long and flat. You're going to really end up with something that looks more like a fishtail scroll and less like a bean end scroll. So there you go. You guys can start seeing that little bit of that kidney bean shape. Now it's very tempting to overdraw this material, and that means really thin it out beyond repair. But what you need to think about is that you're trying to push this material back into itself. You're not wanting it to thin out so much as you want it to spread out into that bean shape. So be very meticulous and careful with this as you go. You know, if you spread it a little bit, it's going to stretch in all directions to some degree. So you're going to have to bring that back by doing some back face blows and upsetting into itself. As you can see here, I'm just brushing this off, and it's starting to take that kind of that kidney bean effect. It has that impression. So again, I might give this a little bit more work, but then again, you might just start rolling it up right now. I decided to go ahead and start rolling it up right now. It wasn't exactly how I was wanting it to be. I wanted to get a little extra dramatic with the lobes being pulled out towards the parent bar stock, but for sake of time and for video, as I was in a rush because I was teaching a scroll making class, when I was making this video, I figured some form of bean end is better than no form of bean end to show you all. So now we're going to switch from that hardened faced hammer to using a rawhide mallet. This will allow us not to crush the little kidney bean on the end of this bean end scroll. Just like in the spade video, this material is thinner than what the parent bar stock material is, and we don't want to end up folding it over or creating rolling on the edges of it. We want it to stay nice and crisp, and the easiest way to do that is by using a soft-faced mallet. Just like in the spade end video that I'm referencing here quite often in this video, we need to make sure that we leave enough space around this initial bend that we can continue to pull the scroll around and it look appropriate. We're really focusing on that negative space that you see there. So you got to leave enough space. When you have a larger finial in the center, your scroll is going to be bigger. It's just an inherent property of doing scroll work. So now that I'm no longer hitting the actual bean itself or focusing my hammer blows there, and I'm actually working on the parent bar stock of material, now I can use a hardened steel face hammer to actually drive this material a little bit easier. But again, remember, at this point, you are only forging the material. You are not, you're forming the material, excuse me. You're not forging the material. There is a big difference between those two operations, and having that understanding of what that is will really help you out. So as you can see here, I've rolled it up quite a bit more. You're just going to keep wash, rinse, and repeating like in all scroll work. That same thing. Bring it out, a little longer heat, tippity tap, go back, longer heat, tippity tap, keep coming out, keep doing the same thing. But that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. This little scroll making tutorial on making a bean in. Let me know what you thought of it down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, God bless you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you found it helpful and it earned your subscription, please consider subscribing.